Today marks 30 years since a deadly earthquake shook Southern California. The 6.7 magnitude Northridge earthquake struck at 4:30 that time, and it was felt as far away as Las Vegas. Parts of freeways, homes, and parking structures collapsed, and landslides were triggered throughout the mountains. The California Department of Conservation says it killed dozens of people and caused about $25 billion worth of damage at that time, and much more economic loss. It was listed as one of the most expensive earthquakes in U.S. history. The U.S. Geological Survey is reflecting on the earthquake and the safety tools that have been developed since then. I'm joined now by Robert DeGroot from the USGS. And Robert, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good to be here.
We know there was extreme shaking for those in the San Fernando Valley. What led up to all of the destruction back then?
Yes, so the San Fernando Valley is home to many people. This earthquake began early in the morning on the 17th of January of 1994, and basically the fault that moved was right underneath the valley, and the energy from the earthquake really pushed its way into the mountains on the north side of the valley, but then ended up shaking the entire region, and as you said earlier, shook all the way out to Las Vegas. So it's considered a moderate earthquake, but of course, a lot of people felt it and a lot of damage was done.
In a publication, you say it was not a worst case scenario. More than 50 people died. Why is that?
Well, with anyone dying, of course, it's a worst case scenario, right? But the idea that we can have bigger earthquakes in the region, in 2008, we debuted a scenario of a magnitude 7.8 earthquake, which basically over on the order of 180 miles of the San Andreas fault breaks, shaking the region, with shaking being felt all the way out to Arizona and into Nevada. This is one of the larger earthquakes we can have in the region. In Northridge, people could drive from Northridge to cities locally to go shopping and those sorts of things. This larger earthquake, this shakeout scenario, as it's referred to, is a regional event that will affect not just the Northridge area and the Los Angeles area, but the entire region.
And Robert, what changed as a result of this earthquake, and what tools do we now have in place to manage the risk?
Yes, and so many tools have been developed since the Northridge earthquake in 1999. We developed something called Did You Feel It? And we're asking people, even 30 years later, to fill out an account of that earthquake. We build a human map with what people felt, what they experienced. This actually helps us improve the human experience and also what we can do to keep people safe. And again, public safety is the key here. But even more important is the development of the Shake Alert earthquake early warning system, which debuted in California public alerting in 2019. And now everyone can get alerts on their cell phone, and actually in 3 states, because the system serves 50 million people in California, Oregon, and Washington, can now get those precious seconds to drop, cover, and hold on before the heaviest shaking reaches them.
And we often hear that it's not a matter of if, but when another big earthquake will strike. What can people at home do to prepare?
Yes, welcome to earthquake country. Earthquakes are going to continue to happen. The state of California has on the order of 50 earthquakes a day. And Shake Alert offers a new tool that anyone can take advantage of to get those precious seconds. But the key thing to do here is do everything else that you've been doing. Know what to do if you feel shaking or if you get an alert. Drop, cover, and hold on. Keep putting away your emergency supply kits. Know what to do after the earthquake is over. Have an out-of-state contact. Basically, do everything you've been doing before. Shake Alert allows you to do something sooner. That is, take that protective action so you can be safe.
Robert DeGroot from USGS, thank you so much for your insight this morning. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.